to interrupt Ryle.
Yeah, I mean, he's going... Oh, he cancels CP. He had like a Fairy Fire and a huge wand, so I don't think they had any chance killing that Shaker, unless they had Static Storm online. But he was like 2 creeps away from having Static Storm available, so unfortunate for him, not available, but it is now. So they're going to smoke up and they're going to go ahead and try to kill a Spirit Breaker.
Scan connects. Scanka does connect, but they're moving straight towards the lane. You see that it also now shows a green line, so probably some traffic in the bottom lane. That is a Radiant Sentry, and also a Dire Place point for Alpha on the other side, and there we go, the instant echo! Into Whitemore dropping the ulti to try and save Ryle, but here comes the counter initiation. Ice Blast does connect onto a couple. TV will pop the Metamorph as well to start hitting FNG. Squad X, he won't be able to get out instantly as he gets glimpsed back into the fight. TSM already lost 2 members and noticed 4 more seconds for the charge. Tomato wants to close in the gap. Squad X has to blink away as Tomato throws in a right click, and they will salvage this situation. They got the Invoker kill, so successful blink reveal.
Definitely successful. That was a really great rotation by Squad X there on this Shaker. He's been playing really well this game, I must say. He's been playing really, really well, considering he's in a bit of a tricky situation where you are playing versus Invoker, a very strong laner as he is a universal hero, and of course getting your mana burned all the time. Goes for Brown Boots Blink Dagger, and he gets his revenge right away. Hitting every single rune too, by the way. And also the
what they can do here, the glimpse takes the Shaker away for the time being, and that Soulbind will not connect into any follow-up spells, at least. Notice trying to make a run for it, but the right click seemed to be too much for him to deal with, and that gank leads into a lost member of Virtus Pro.
Yeah, it wasn't quite close enough, but it's a glimpse. That's pretty much never going to happen, so good positioning there by Whitemon to be able to just interrupt that there, as CK now has a Midas. Some interesting item choices coming out. CK Midas, not something you see a lot, but it is fine. You use attack speed, it can be good. But the more interesting item build is going to be Kasane on his Omni Knight. Midas queued up, Shard, Bots 2, Hex, BKB. That is what he's looking at for his item build.
I'm going to get all these items this game.
I talked about him being tanky, going straight for Bots 2. Midas, not the tankiest build. We'll see if he continues to go for that build. It's interesting nonetheless, though.
He will be tanky soon, TM.
Yeah, tanky soon.
And talking about the last gank as well, as VP lost a member in that gank, TSM were able to push the bottom T1 tower for some damage. So the trade goes for them. FNG gonna get hit by the EMP once again, and Kasane looking to close in the gap with that glimpse again. Whitemon, he's been everywhere so far. 8 out of the 9 kills he's been a part of. Very high kill participation for him, and these glimpses are exactly the tool in this early game to get TSM these kills.
And he needs to be part of these as well, because they don't really have much else for their initiation, as mentioned. You have maybe a tornado. Ari has to walk in the old school way right now until he gets his blink. He's not even halfway there yet. So you got to rely heavily on these glimpses. That's where we're seeing him max.
They're setting up for him here. Tornado to set up for the Static Storm, and he needs Sayush to help him out. Buddy, I'm burning here, but there's nothing they can do. Or even take Sayush into the arms of TSM. Ari ready for the stun in 2 seconds. Notice trying to interrupt that ice wall. That space cow is like, I'm stuck in eternity or some kind of black hole, but no, it's just ice. Bryle with the second kill going for him, and there we go, the Guardian Angel from Bryle, and the turnaround for TSM to take even more. They've got 3. This looks like a 4th on Notice. He's trying to charge away. He will get out, but Kirit is down, and Notice, that is a full-on team wipe. TSM, they took the broom, and they're scrubbing Virtus Pro with it.
Very nice by Tomato to just show up to that team fight as well, realizing his team needs the help, because they absolutely need Tomato to show up there, make things happen. That ice wall was so good, though. It looked really funny, right? Him just charging through at slow speed, but slowing that charge down allowed them to get that extra damage into there, which helped turn that team fight in the favor of TSM here.
Just delayed damage even in a case, because he wasn't able to interrupt as he was stuck inside the ice wall, and BP losing members slowly but surely.
And guess what? Just like that, I was talking about Ari, not even halfway to blink. One team wipe later, he's got a blink available on the Centaur now. So now you have that type of initiation that is just stable and reliable.
Pretty sick net worth for a pause for Centaur 15 minutes in as this game's been going with a glimpse. Bringing in FNG, TSM coming out from multiple directions. All right, no second thoughts, just instant static storm. Noticed can't actually cancel his charge either because got silenced momentarily there. Noticed gonna get pummeled by Bryle and a couple illusions from the TV. Ari thinking about going in, but he's putting some cooldown. And there we go, Whitemon with the glimpse. Man, Whitemon.
Oh, he's killing him with this disruptor. He's at a 14 kill participation right now out of the 16 kills. You're gonna have nightmares of glimpses after this game.
All I can say is, like, all these years of, you know, Mike and John casting Whitemon's games in SCA, man, they should be proud right now of what Whitemon's becoming. Again, such an impactful POS 5 support. Just love watching him play heroes like Disruptor.
Dire's bottom tower
Yeah, he's definitely a really good player, and his Disruptor is a beast. And it's a very good Disruptor game too. If you think about what Spearbreaker does as a hero, it's a very hard game for him to play because Bulldoze can get purged by the Tornado, and then Disruptor, he's kind of like the anti-status resistance hero because Kinetic Field doesn't care about the status resistance. Glimpse doesn't care about status resistance, and neither does Static Storm. So you just like lock him down when normally that's supposed to be Spearbreaker's strength. He's not supposed to be able to be locked down. But against Disruptor, he's one of the few heroes that can do it.
Gonna surprise FNG here. AA taking a, you know, a Sunday stroll inside their own, well, not very green jungle, at least on the side of the Dire map, but got surprised there by an Invoker walking into him. And VP, they were trying to respond with Squadix and Sayush both sitting next to the tier 2 tower. Shaker only now just started building that Aghanims. He had an all right start, right? But their members are dying all over the map, and it's really hindering Virtus.pro's capabilities of really fighting TSM back.
At this point in the game. Okay.
What can they do with this? It's a very tough target.
I mean, he's got his Boots of Travel online now with the Midas. Kasane is going to really pick up the farm speed. And he's just fast, right? Like with these Boots of Travel giving 90 move speed.
Wow. Surprises noticed. Echo Sun coming up from Squadix and the Static Storm locking off this Shaker. And they are just a couple heroes here, but TSM, they've got more than just a couple. The whole team is here. And the glimpse. Welcome into the loving arms of TSM. Another kill for them and a 7k lead built.
Whitemon placed that Observer Ward to get the vision for the glimpse there, to get that one extra kill there. But even
it's going bottom. It's not over yet.
Yeah, it's not over.
They for another kill. Hey, sitting at the tree line. VP, they're scared. They're scared right now. Where is that Disruptor?
Are fortified.
Ari's coming in.
Where are the kills?
Looks like they want to fight on VP. Notice walking in their ditch.
Want some vengeance, right? But is it foolhardiness? Is it courage that they're using here? They've got an AA blast to connect to Bryle. It doesn't really connect with the debuff, but they got the damage for Kiritage for the kill. Ari, good blink in and stun if they have to follow up damage, but it looks like VP are bringing in the numbers this time. Glimpse throwing back, nice stun to follow up on the Glimpse as well by Ari, but he loses half of his HP. Look at those crits from Kiritage. Kasane has to intervene, and there we go. CK, I'm gonna TP out. Bye-bye. I ain't gonna stay here any longer as Tomatoes also showed up, but he's also losing some HP. Notice charges away. FNG and Sayush are trying to get away from the big evil Glimpse of Whitemon. But they will not get caught this time by the Disruptor. So a successful kill on Bryle, and VP gets away.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what they need there. And it was pretty scary for Tomato as well. He walked in, his meta just expired, so he couldn't really do the damage that he wanted to do. But at the end, you saw an Ink Swell hit him with a charge out. That took 70% of his health with just 2 spells right now. So Tomato, after that, is probably realizing, yeah, maybe need a little more time to get some more items here. It's just a dead FNG here.
Yeah, but maybe a dead Whitemon too. Is it enough? It's got just enough HP to survive that AA blast debuff.
He's fine. He's fine.
He's fine.
Still want to see if Kasane commits to Boots of Travel too, because if he does, that just means he wants to be ultra aggressive and just like maybe travel onto Centaur while he's initiating and just be there. I mean, he has ideas of doing it. We'll see if he commits to it.
Talk about new innovation drafts as well. We talked about this yesterday, that we don't really see these surprise, well, maybe it was surprise carries or in general cores that we were discussing about, but at least like it's not like this one hero shows up out of nowhere and just dominates the game in a way, because you don't really have those in this current meta.
Like cheese pigs?
Radiant's bottom
Yeah, cheese pigs,
tower is
exactly.
under attack.
The days of cheese and they've been gone for a long time now. The meta's pretty much been set. The objectives are in play. Speaking of objectives, gotta do your tormentors for both teams.
Gotta do your chores.
Gotta do your chores. Gotta do your tormentors. FNG, he will not die to it, which is good. No
Radiant's
tormentor deaths
bottom
today,
tower
but
is under attack.
tormentors supports worst nightmare.
Yep. Literally tormentors.
They literally are.
Name.
I mean, it's a torment for everyone. Like, carry players don't want to go back and hit him either. They'd rather just farm.
Yep, lack of
What a
TPM helping out the
objective.
supports.
In fact, think of it as like a chore. Very much is.
Can we talk about Invoker Hurricane Pike?
No, what do you want to talk about? This item on Invoker
bottom
is
tower
pretty good
is
because he's
under
a universal hero, right? A lot of stats. Get the force up, get the Dragon Lance. It's going to be more of like a right-click type of force here. He's going to be able to keep his range. Speaking of being able to keep their range here, they're going to force the BKB.
Could just zone Carrotage here. Well, you say they see him TPing out. Just an armlet toggle with this BKB is going to get out. So,
I like how he just popped BKB, looked around for a minute, assessed the situation, and was like, okay, I'm out.
But yeah, like in general, always Hurricane Pike's Dragon Lances have been like these stat items for multiple specific heroes. It's not, maybe it is the meta for Invoker, but it is actually nice to see it in this
Going through
particular
the
game.
gates,
Just being
top
able
lane.
to
White
what we
one.
can do here. We've got 2 heroes in the Roche, 3 heroes in the Roche pit, while the others are fighting in top, and it's Bryle and Whitemon. The dynamic duo for TSM finding a kill on Sayush, making them know that not the entire team is in the Roche pit, indeed.
And Hurricane Pike is also kind of like a high skill way to deal Spirit Breaker too. If he charges in on you,
middle
and you
tower is under
Hurricane Pike
attack.
him back, it'll take him out of the charge. So that is a way of doing it instead of just going for the Lincolns.
That too. Pretty good game to have that item. Like, especially when CK is a gap closer with Reality Rift, just push him away.
Definitely
Bites.
everything will help here. As this map, it's slowed down a little bit for the side of TSM. They're still getting kills and all, but the net worth lead has been higher. Only at 4K right now. I think it was at 6K, close to 7K.
It was 7K, yeah. If you look at the graphs, it has been slowly going in VP's favor, even though the lead's still on TSM.
Winning the economy game, when maybe these Midases starting to really pay off here is maybe just the speed in which they farm too. Because if the game gets slow, if you look, Kasane, he did it. The madman has done it. He's looking at inventory. This is like the most insane inventory I have seen in a long time. Midas bots too.
I mean,
he's definitely from NA, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that is definitely for sure. Like, this is some kind of a NA mania that Kasane is kind of representing here with these builds on the off lane. Oh, poor pubs right now. I saw this off lane Omni Knight, guys. And guess what? It's bots to rush with Midas, and I'm gonna win the game with it. Not even looking at anybody else what they're doing. Yeah.
As his net worth isn't like, he's had total free farm this game, right? As far as space, but his hero, one of the weaknesses of Omni, doesn't farm fast. Compare that to the Spear Breaker.
Dire's middle tower
He's kind of had a rough
under
game
attack.
on all accords. He's still managing to keep up on the farm as the Omni that has a free game. A little bit of difference in heroes in the farming speed. Really a high reliance on Talon and his Terrorblade this game.
Bryle's surprising FNG again.
Yeah.
And maybe even more, because Ahri is chasing Sayush here. They do throw in the glimpse, and he's used into the air. This Ahri build on Centaur is really enabling them set for kills. They've got glimpse, and then he has the Yules as well to make sure that they can definitely land hoof stops. Yeah, you're not getting out. You are not getting out. Off lane at the same time. Notice is right next to Bryle. He's on the high ground. This time it's 2v1. Is it fair enough for Bryle? Is it fair enough for Virtus Pro? Well, they're going to try with that Stampede, and they do end up finding the Shaker. Ahri is here, trying to get away with the jumps, but that is going to be his demise. Burning to the end, and Bryle another kill.
You know, they see one more hero too. Glimpse in the Static Storm.
Yes, all over the map, unless Sunstrike is going to be enough to help them out. Notice barely gets out. Just a couple hundred left on the Spirit Breaker, but it's enough.
Yeah, it didn't have enough damage quite yet. And of course, Kasane, he's going for that Hex now. So next time that will be a definite kill with the Hex.
Well gotten.
And the whole map right now, it just belongs to TSM. It feels like they're able to farm right now.
And they get this one.
The Ink Swell's
going to be connected, and Ice Blast is also their perfect combo. Kasane's here, though.
It's the bots too, baby.
Up. Does have Guardian Angel available. They also let him go. They see Tomato. He's frozen in the river. Here just pops his Phantasm, and they're going to target Braille. Braille actually going to get caught with the Silence. Squadix, he's got the Fissure, and he's got them locked down. Here goes the Guardian Angel for the Echo Slam. That will go straight through. FNG will fall to Ari. At the same time, Notice going to be charging onto Tomato, but Tomato, he's holding his ground, and Karatic is on the run. I need help, boys. Ari thrown into the air with his own Yules, but he will lose his life. Squadix will smack a big totem into his face. And Virtus Pro, you know, there's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel as they can get 3 for 1 out of this trade-off.
Yeah, and I think right now you're starting to see the Spirit Breakers start to ramp up. These charges in and out of the fight, they're not able to cancel it. BKB is coming online soon. Actually, it's coming on the quarry right now, and this is the big one. If he can just go in with the bulldoze, not really care about the glimpse, not care about being tornadoed, he will be a huge threat here, doing tons of damage. This is why this hero's first pick. Once you get to the state of the game where you have a lot of items, this hero does so much damage, pushes out every single lane, and perma-stuns you. What more could you ask for?
And so that 2K lead now remaining for TSM, despite all this ingenuity with their item builds and how they've been finding pickoffs all over the map. Virtus Pro's team fight power slowly starting to show, because we haven't really seen Virtus Pro as 5 since that team wipe happened in the mid lane. It feels like ages ago already at this point, because the game has taken a different course. Ari spotted by FNG. FNG will for the instant Ice Blast, prevent the Centaur from blinking forward, frozen for the Yules. FNG gonna get hit by the cold snap as Spiral's coming in. Kasane's deep it in. Squadix stuck on a clip. Stuck on a clip. Where are you gonna go? You've been clipped easy right now. And it's TSM that's gonna make sure that you're not getting out. And Squadix is just dead. Oh, poor VP. And Otis won't be able to run away either. Hit by the tornado. Pops this BKB. I gotta run, boys.
Tower is under attack.
And Sayush, I don't think he's going to be that lucky as Ari with the Yules. He's going to chase him down. We've seen this story before, and Kasane is high on his heels with the Omni Knight. Ari with the stun, Glimpse forming the Grimstroke all by himself, and TSM. It really just wasn't a proper fight at all for Virtus Pro.
You saw that Spirit Breaker uses BKB in that fight. You got the BKB available for the CK. The CK is not there. He has to walk all the way back to base here, so this is going to be a considerable amount of damage to the tower that Tomato's going to put in here. And Lincoln Sphere was the choice by Kasane here, as he does finish that up. He's got the Repel plus Lincoln Sphere combination here. Should be able to bail Tomato out of a lot of trouble. And of course, I'm curious about as well. He's going to be able to get to
about here, Fear. Did you see in that last fight, how did Squadix end up cliffed there?
I did not see himself. I think he may have enchant totemed up there and just got stuck. Unlucky. You do. Because there's no real
replay of that fight. Yeah, if there's a replay of that fight, I'd like to see what really happened with Squadix, because that was a crucial piece for TSM kind of just winning that team fight. They do have some forced movement on their team, but this Aegis, the first one, but going in the arms of TSM, VP can't do anything about it.
They're just gonna harass them. Oh, there you go. The shard on A even delays it a bit further, but yeah, that's definitely going to be an Aegis going into the arms of Tomato. I feel like it's going to get to the point of the game where he's going to want to start frontlining for the team. Kasane, he definitely does not have a build that screams, I want to be in the front. He wants to be as far back as possible, getting his spells off, and we're going to get that replay just now to see what happens here. We're going to see Kasane come in with that bots 2 here right onto Bryle. He's here, and then he just blinks to the high ground there on Faker. It's just a blink. But he, unfortunately, just the way the map is right there, he thought he probably blinked behind that cliff there, but just blinked on top of it into the loving arms of a Static Storm by Whitemon there. Really unfortunate. I don't know if it would have changed too much there. It's not like him going on that Centaur would have yielded too much. Potentially would have killed the Centaur, but you're definitely dying after that.
Well, that was not the outcome that I was definitely waiting for out of that team fight. Just cliffing himself with a blink. A small, tiny miscalculation coming out from Squadix. But At least they're still in the game, and they're also smoking themselves up. They have a good high ground position, but you are fighting against an Aegis if you end up doing so. And the Radiant scan, it's on point. VP also realizing that probably we shouldn't fight this one. TSM on the hunt for a potential pickoff, though. They've got all they need for the catch. White on, Ahri, Bryle. These are the ones to find pickoffs with Ahri. Smoke broken. Gets caught here. They actually will be able to blow up the Centaur with ease, but Kirtich, he popped this BKB so early. Notice with a beautiful charge in, though, but he's losing all the target. They can't see anything. They're just going away with their Glimmer Capes and their Ghost Walks.
Yeah, detection is probably going to be necessary for Spirit Breaker to pick up as, yep, he's like, sorry guys, dust coming out in courier now. I guess I'll put this race band in the backpack.
We've talked about cores carrying dust. You know, it is the, you know, the team MVP when your 2s and 3s are carrying dusts as well into the team fight. And notice, yep, he's got 2 of them in his inventory now. Doesn't want to let that happen again.
I mean, I think VP's being incredibly greedy, to be honest with you, on their supports, because like it's very difficult to have space for dust, which makes this item really powerful. Like Bryle hasn't had to buy any dust. Not necessarily, I mean, he does have some, but he doesn't really need it. I don't even know why he has dust, because there's no Glimmer Cape. Oh, there's a Shadow Blade on the CK. But Sayu did not buy the Glimmer Cape. He's going for the Ags Rush. F and G, of all items, went for a Rod of Atos, Mana Boots. So he also just dies instantly to Bryle, right? Because you can't just like get away with him with a Force Staff or some Glimmer Cape. A bit of greedy itemization here from Virtus Pro on the supports.
As we look at some of these items up here, we've got a multitude of Midases. I've seen more, but that at least has been a big impactor in this game, increasing some of the farm for at least a couple of these heroes, keeping at least Virtus Pro's 2 cores in the top 3. Omni Knight also a hero that kind of needs that extra Midas to keep up in item progress. You know, needs to travel to and the Midas has Lincoln's.
Yeah, he is just chilling this game, honestly, on Kasane. He realizes his job is mainly just to keep Tomato alive with the GA. GA is supposed to be the counter to the CK ultimate, right? CK at some point might want to consider a Nullifier, but Nullifier... Uh-oh. Let's see, bro. Oh, the Echo.
Oh, that's a big one. Jumping straight on top of Bryle with the Echo Slam. Kasane coming in with the Boots of Travel too. Notice actually hitting the Centaur on the way there, but Bryle going to be saved by the Guardian Angel and Tomato. He's ready for the action. BKB's already popped on the side of VP, and they got to make this count. They really need the kill on Bryle, but Waymon, the Static Sword placed down. Kirchix is going to be stuck inside of it. They've already lost a couple of heroes on the side of VP, but they're forcing the rest of them away. TSM, they might just be able to clean out the entire team. Squadix is trying to run, has his blink available. It's going to be able to dodge that blood grenade as well, so he can blink right after the enchant totem. So it's not VP losing 4 or 5, it's just the CK and the AA. They did get Bryle and also forced out the Metamorph and a couple ultimates, but TSM still, they're fighting in a spot where they can straight up push to the high ground.
They got Ags on the Grimstroke right now, so they can make a copy of Tomato here if they want to go. I think they probably should. Here it is.
And they're going to try it. Inkswall coming in with the charge with the Ice Blast coming in as well. Tomato, he's going to get stunned, but the Sunder comes out just in time, and he dodges the Ice Blast too. Not going to get hit by it at all. Squadix is already down. Kasane tanking the front line, but he will lose his life. Sayush will claim that kill. Tomato still has the Aegis for 35 seconds, and he's on the run. Notice on the chase as well with this Inkswall. Has his BKB. Going to make sure that he can catch this TV, but they need some backup here. Yes, he will finish him off for the first time. And now realizing that he only has the supports on his high ground, I guess it's a smart idea to just let them stay behind. Not lose too many heroes, trying to ult on Tomato, but just getting ulted by Ahri. The charge coming into the camp instead of the hero. Ahri blinks away. Whitemon getting caught by this one. FNG's right there. 6 more seconds for the Ice Blast. Stampede coming out as well. Notice very low on HP right now, but still continuing with the fight. Disruptor low on HP. Ahri down to half as well. Tomato's running away. Ahri, he's the last one here remaining as Whitemon is already down, but the Ice Blast is following Tomato. It's getting vision for Notice. Notice coming in with the charge. They do get the ulti to connect, but Bryle is also here. So what does VP decide to do? Do they continue with the chase because they're hungry for kills right now? Nanta to also avoid getting hit by the Nether Strike, and Bryle invis away with Ghost Walk. So that fight, that is finally done.
Notice is an absolute beast on this Spirit Breaker, man. He has zero fear, just charging in, running in. His aggression right there and presence of mind to keep running into these fights got them those 3 kills that they otherwise probably would not have gotten. So these fights do get scarier if this game goes on, because Grimstroke, we did see that Dark Portrait being used on the Terrorblade. All that net worth will be used against you, especially if you have the means to chain stun heroes. And boy, oh boy, they got a lot of stuns on their team here with the Spear Breaker. They got the Earthshaker and even the Chaos Knight. If they can manage to lock down Tomato with this Dark Portrait hitting him, he will die, as there is no Aegis on him anymore.
Purified.
That's something that we've talked a lot about during this entire year, DPC games with Grimstrokes and their Aghanims. When is it an impactful game for it? When it feels like, is it really going to do much of a change? You finally finish it when you're playing from behind. But this game is not like VP's like tens of thousands of gold behind an economy and just getting super out leveled. They actually have more experience than TSM. Thanks to these couple fights that they've won lately. You can see they're just, the graphs are sliding in their favor, but is the game going to slide in their favor? That's a bit of a difference maker.
I'm definitely a little worried if I'm TSM right now, compared to like the position they were in earlier on in the game. Spirit Breaker is hitting critical mass. This hero cannot be underestimated in the late game. It might be the strongest late game hero in Dota as far as I'm concerned right now, from what I've seen. So he's ramping up. CK is going to always be CK, pretty stable overall. This Dark Portrait is just never going to make Tomato feel good. He's going to always want to find a way to get rid of this illusion as soon as he possibly can. And then, of course, the questions of the Omni Knight. How much is this hero going to scale into the late game? The Centaur, he's just a glorified blink stun at the moment.
They see Brawl. No, they actually got the gem, but they finally spot him. But do they get the catch? Yes, they do. There are the strikes there. And the Static Storm also plays down. The Guardian Angel for some very early notice, popping the refresher for another charge. Ice Blast will connect into the middle. Omni are going to get hit by the Echo Slam as well. And they dual take down Ari. Will take down Kasane. Tomato, he's running out of firepower in the front line, so he has to deal the damage, but he's getting stunned up on the spot with the frozen cold feet right now. And Virtus, yet to lose a member, forcing up the buyback off of Ari.
That was really good. So far still, Refresher was the choice for the Spear Breaker with the double charge in there, double Another Strike, double BKB. And he's going back in. He's not done.
Charge onto Tomato. Another strike. It's ready. 700 HP to go through. A couple more hits. They've got Tomato. And Ari also being controlled. Silenced at the time. CK
Ari
bringing him in, but is disarmed. And Ari just died back on the Centaur. And VP, they've got a ticket right now to claim this game back in their favor, or at least be the ones in the lead. TSM, you said you were a bit worried about them right now, and it is definitely worrying for TSM.
I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about right now. It's just the amount of stuns you have to be able to let this Dark Portrait do damage into the fights here. Even though that wasn't the most impactful Dark Portrait, it's mainly just a Spear Breaker, man. He's going in and out over and over again, creating the openings, allowing that Ice Blast hit, get a big Echo Slam on top of the Omni Knight there in that fight as well.
Radiant's middle barracks.
It's tough. It's definitely tough.
And they're going to lose a lane of Brax on top of that. This TB is not going to be buying back just quite yet. 20 seconds for him to return back into action.
Radiant's middle.
The rest of TSM just going to have to, play calm, accept their defeat for the mid lane Rax. And Virtus Pro almost 10k ahead now. These graphs have been slowly going in their favor, but now it's a big landslide right now. And VP they're in a very good shape as they warmed up to this game, because, the first 20 minutes, you could have said by the base of this game that they don't seem like to be too much of a match for TSM. Things have changed.
They definitely have, and maybe you have to go back to itemization a little bit on, to say, Kasane's Omni Knight. Has this item build really paid off for them? The Boots of Travel playing around the map. I'm comparing him to Noticed right now, and it's a day and night difference in what these heroes are able to achieve on the map right now. You're just a glorified Repel / GA right now, and that's about it. You're a support. The damage isn't coming from your hero. You can't necessarily frontline very well either. And then your mid laner is an Invoker who, he's doing decent damage, but it's not enough. So you're putting all the eggs in Tomato here, being able to do the damage. And unfortunately, this basket of tomatoes here, it's falling apart. All the eggs are breaking here. He doesn't have the damage.
Also the fact that, Nomad and Teagup in the last series, they were talking about the 6th player. Well, VP with Sayushin, Grimstrokes, Axe, and the Dark Portrait. That pierces BKB these days. Getting used to back in the day, but at least now it does. It does bring them that 6th player, which is, Tomato, the VP Tomato.
VP Tomato is the scariest Tomato, as he does extra damage as well with the Dark Portrait. He does more damage than Tomato Zero does. 150% damage, by the way.
Yep.
And when you are a hero that's high agility and you build all stat items, look at Tomato's items. He is built Butterfly, Manta, Hurricane Punch, Scotty. These are all stat items. The only thing you can't steal is plus damage. And Tomato's only got plus 48 of that. The rest of that's 250 of base damage.
Is under attack. Dire's bottom tower.
Heritage is going to already push onto the high ground. TSM, they're going to have to ponder their options. Going to have to come back to the base as they don't get themselves into the high ground of VP's bottom lane. Heritage already done with the tier 3 tower. TSM haven't smoked up yet. I'll look for an angle of engagement. Tomato has a DD rune, so that could work. Maybe that is stronger than the VP Tomato having a DD Tomato. TSM.
No VP Tomato, but DD TSM Tomato is stronger.
For the time being, at least. But for how long? TSM smoking up on 4. Tomato already pushing up the wave. VP, they're backing out. They also have noticed on the other side of the map, defending that push. Taking away the outpost, have some vision.
They're smoked up. They want to go on something here, but... Oh, we're back to the old days. We're camping high ground and vision and wards. They just found Bryle.
Nice blink out, but the Echo stuff doesn't really connect either, neither does the Static Storm as he's popped his BKB. And notice that's a very early pop for him as well. Doesn't catch anyone with the charge. And he's going to end up getting stuck in the trees while Ari is fighting against the rest of these CK illusions and getting pummeled to death. And Ari will be gone for 60 seconds. VP looking for another opener here. Noticed in the front with the ink swell, but the charge is still on 5-second cooldown. Does get the nether strike. Whitemon all the way to the low ground. 4 staff save quickly to get back to safety. But the Fissure from the charge as well. And Whitemon's about to drop with this disruptor. Low on HP. Meanwhile, Tomato, the Guardian Angel will come out, but he's also going to get hit by the Soulbind. Heritage going to be in the front line with the CK, and they're fighting basically just to the death as Tomato has to run away, realizing that maybe I can't beat this CK by myself. And Bryle has finished off Notice with a deep dive, dropping the gem onto the ground. And Virtus Pro on the retreat, but Bryle's not going to let them get out. Squadix going to get hit by the cold snap. Vessel combo, and Kasane is here, and Bryle will get the kill.
Corpse just went flying to the high ground. He's like, I'd rather die up on the cliff here.
Die up here.
I thought he might potentially cheese and try to get out of that, but with the Vessel, it wouldn't have healed very much, and he probably still would have died. So
talk about stopping at the top.
Yeah, quitting while you're ahead. But that fight in particular, Tomato was able to do lots of damage, and I'm not seeing where this Dark Portrait's going. It feels like either Tomato is eliminating it right away, which he should be, or it's getting blocked by these multiple Lincolns. They got triple Lincolns right now on TSM. All you're seeing is just Lincoln pop, Lincoln pop, Lincoln pop. It's hard to keep track of what spells are actually cracking these Lincolns open. We'll have to see, but they definitely do have to pop this Lincolns multiple times potentially. Oh, Ari,
they're going to go aggressive with the Stampede. FNG misses his ult, but Ari's going to lose his life here. Sunstrike is also on top of Kirtis. Kirtis slowly losing the fight, but has the Aegis.
There's a Dark Portrait
on the run right now. Still has the BKB as well. That is not a Metamorph illusion, but it is something. It will buff up them with the extra damage. Tomato is on the run. He's going to move away from the high ground. FNG dropping the jam voice line, which is kind of a, you know, you're not coming on our high ground for free.
Definitely not. And Ari, I think that was a little bit of impatience on his end there. He is a first-time TI attendee, right? These are plays that you got to be careful to make. Jumping past the tier 1 tower. Didn't really blink on anyone at all there. Just kind of got stuck there and ended up dying. Punished his team a little bit for it.
Not sure if you saw the Tormentor there, but Karatic was down to 40 HP with that armlet toggle as he did the last hit on the Tormentor, almost popping his Aegis, despite, might as well, you know, Aegis is running out. Doesn't look like they're going to get an actual benefit for a quick fight inside these next 10 seconds. They're all over the place. TSM in one spot of the map. So Aegis will be reclaimed.
It's hard to believe they actually had an Aegis throughout this entire engagements here, but
yep.
That's going to be gone now. We're going to move those boots back into the inventory here. And they decide, oh, Aegis is gone. Let's go fight. So they're going to smoke up instantly, even though they have lost their own Aegis. And this game has turned a little bit into some of the old patches of just camping some high ground vision here. as we have entered the late game now.
Scans on top. Know exactly where TSM are right now. VP closing in again. Whitemon in the front line. Echo does connect on Tomato and Whitemon. Whitemon's going to be gone. And there we have it. The TV control for the time being. Ice Blast connects as well. Can they get a couple more hits? And notice pops his BKB. Just needs vision, but there's no vision to be given.
Refresh.
Heritage forced out as well.
Yeah, he popped refresher for that second BKB, so that won't be available for them in this fight. Good job keeping Tomato alive. I think right now this all
coming back in.
Okay.
FNG going to get hit by the sun, strike down to 700.
They wanted to T-ward that really bad, and they'll go for it. They got it.
I like how TSM likes these quick snipe attempts. You know, let's just try and throw a couple quick burst spells and see if we can still back out. But not enough to kill an AA. I mean, AA is not exactly squishy anymore with 2k HP.
And he's got some defensive capability now too. He's picked up the Force Staff and the Ghost Scepter, so he can get out of trouble a bit more than he used to. And level 25 coming online after this creep, maybe? No, a couple more creeps here for the Chaos Knight.
Yeah, that'd be the first one.
And we'll see what choice he goes for, either Chaos Strike Chance or Phantasm Duration. I think both choices are pretty good. If your illusions can stay alive, I think you go for it, and he will go for it.
Illusions it is, by the looks of it. That TB illusion kind of catching VP maybe a bit
well, they're weaker illusions, they
bit,
just last longer. The other choice would actually make illusions do more damage because you're critting more.
Yeah.
But this is the long-term more damage, I guess.
40 seconds. Phantasms now into the base. Braille and Whitemon using the Defender Gate.
Has fallen.
They go on the side. There's the Tormentor that noticed. He's going to go for the quick D ward. Just the range racks lost in the top lane. One Lincoln's pop. Do they have another? Ice Blast will not connect, and the Stampede also used just in case. FNG still pretty low on HP. Hasn't really regenerated at all during this time. He's just standing his spot, standing his ground, throwing in more vortex, more vision. Parties are doing the work. Doing the heavy lifting right now for BP. Heritage Ari going up with a Blink Stun. Does get hit by Noticed. And Tor now Yule's up into the air. Tomato can't find an angle to hit them and can't even pop his Metamorph right now, and Ari's gone. All buybacks are up for both teams, though.
They don't seem to be on the same page. Every time Ari goes in, it feels like they're just not committing, and he's just, like I mentioned before, he's like a glorified Blink Stun at this point, right? You just blink and you stun, and that's all you got. And they're just going to take this Rax with illusions. Very low committal. What's going to stop them from doing that again? Maybe they want Roche. That'll be the only thing to stop them here, but your options as TSM, they're dwindling here. It's really got to be Tomato. He's got to do all the damage for the team. They're doing a good job keeping him alive, but the only issue we have right now is Tomato can't hit anyone freely because they're not getting stunned. Whitemon, he has not gone for the Aghanims, so there's plenty of options for them to get out of the Static Storm at this point of the game. And of course, Ari, he's that one stun. A lot of pressure on him to make something happen with these hoof stomps, but it's very difficult. He doesn't have a BKB. Once he's in, and of course he can get stunned very easily during the process of blinking in. Like, he blinks in, right? Instant Orchid from the CK, and well, that's done. You don't have a BKB. So he's having a difficult time finding these initiations here.
And also, I think an interesting hero this game that could, you know, look very scary in the late game is usually like Refresher Invokers, but Braille, he's decided to build a Daedalus on the Invokers. So that is, you know, this is something different for sure. But TSM, throughout this entire road to the International, they've been drafting differently, they've been itemizing differently, and they still believe it's going to work.
Are scanning.
BP, they're around the area. They've got wards already inside the jungle, but TSM in front of the Roche pit, 50 seconds. Squad X is close.
That's too long when you're missing the two sides.
They got the vision. They see Ari. Ari's going to get stunned up by the fissure, but Kirtich just going for the Watcher instead of any other heroes. Phantasm quickly popped up as well. TSM still not faced by that. They couldn't really go that deep onto Ari. Afraid of this Invoker just tornadoing the whole squad. Yamato scouting up with information. Kirtich is just cleaning out more and more of these illusions, bringing in more of his. This Chaos Bolt shard. Waves are pushing in. Creeps are inside TSM's base. The creeps are inside TSM's base right now, so you gotta do something. And this is what VP's happy with. Stampede's gonna be popped. The Zari charges in. Fisher on 2. Echo on 2 by Squadix. Disrupt is gonna be low on HP. Can't get this Static Storm off at all. Notice is low on HP too. He's gonna have to move himself over with the Wind Waker. But Waypon is down. Tomato's popped his BKB. And Kasane and Brawl, they're gonna be chasing onto Notice. FNG's also on the run. Kiritish down to half HP. Notice gonna be found. He's gonna charge away. And Invoker's been found as well with the stopper. Kiritish takes him down. Looks for Kasane as well. The Omni Knight's down for the double kill for this one. And Tomato is down too. They're forcing out buybacks off of TSM and Ari. He's all by himself right now. I wish I had friends, but all your friends are dead. As Virtus Pro clean house and force out a lot of buybacks off of TSM. It could just go down to one more team fight, Fear.
It definitely can. And when you have no buybacks available here, you have no meta. Roshan just spawns. And I think TSM, they're looking at, they're thinking they're actually going to get Kirtich here.
Oh no, not that as well. The CK, they maybe extend themselves a bit too much. TSM, they got a freebie out of the pockets of a Virtus Pro. It's, you know, balls are being dropped all over the court.
Dire are scanning.
Both teams.
I mean, you just have to have balls to steal there, honestly, to make that play. If you are TSM, that's playing to win right there.
That's his buyback. That's his buyback as well for this one.
The plot thickens here.
Gracious, and TSM got the jump as well. VP Sayush is going to be the one to drop first. Notice has to run away on the Spirit Breaker, and Sayush just forced this buyback. And they're so scattered right now. Squadix, no echo, no nothing for another 15 seconds at least as he's walking away, jumping around. Sunstrike for vision, won't find anyone in the area.
What's happening right now?
They've scattered all over the place. Creeps again inside TSM's
Look at
face.
CK, he's behind enemy lines now too. Okay. I mean, this is a blessing for TSM. Getting that kill, getting the multiple buybacks. By the way, there was no meta during any of this.
That too.
So now meta's going to be back up for the next fight. It might be 22k gold lead for VP, but one moment in this game from either side can decide it instantly.
Yeah, if we want to talk money, that's almost a 10k swing. A couple buybacks and a couple deaths. Sprawls inside the base to cover the creeps pushing. Roshan has an Aghanim Scepter that both teams are kind of curious about. And one would like to pick that one up, especially Noticed, who's played such a great Spirit Breaker game. If he gets an axe for himself.
He already has an axe in his backpack.
Oh, he actually does have an axe in his backpack. Never mind.
He just wants to, he just needs detection. He realized how much he needs detection that he has to hold the gem for now. And has dreams of getting the recipe of Aghanim's Blessing. But it's just gonna be another Roshan stalemate here, which so far has been favoring VP. Because they do have the advantage of having top and mid lane of barracks exposed here, as the creeps will come marching in very shortly here.
And player number 6. The TB of VP, the charge onto Ari. Beautiful connection from Notice. Ice Blast will connect on Tomato. He's going to have to reset for a little bit longer. Ari is moving away. Brawl sniping FNG on the side at the same time. That's going to be one hero that's not going to be returning. Echo slap ball out by Squadix onto Tomato. And White It's going to be low on HP, but the Guardian is going to keep him alive. Kasane chasing Sayus at the same time as Whitemon is being pummeled by Squadix. But Brawl is here. They're taking 1v1s all over the place, but they will take down the Shaker. He's got a buyback. Ari being chased by Notice. That's the same as Kiritish fighting versus Kasane. They're kiting them. TSM, but they are also losing members. They've lost 2 that cannot return back onto the field. And
BP right now too, by the way.
Looks like they are the ones that emerge victorious out of this fight. Despite Squadix having to buy back, but Roche is up. They're gonna go for it.
All right, you know there's no buyback on Tomato.
Well, this is a different NA versus East Europe game compared to the last series.
Definitely. All right, they're gonna do the safe play. Maybe they have time for both, but I don't think they have time for both. They chose to get Roche over trying to end the game with 2 cores being dead. They could have bought back the A and maybe win for it, but this is TI. They're going to play it safe. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them in the ass later when the heroes are respawning. But they still have a window here. It is 40 seconds for the Terrorblade. More importantly, the Omni Knight as well has a longer timer. And it looks like they're just going to play it super safe here and try to get these mega creeps.
Also a big benefit coming out of the Ags on CK with that Phantasm on the entire global team. Very nice to have. Bit of extra chaos versus TSM. Can they hold? Can they hold this base alive a little bit longer?
Radiant's bottom
There's the
tower is
Phantasm.
under attack.
Illusions from, you know, all over the world are going into TSM
Radiant's
space.
bottom tower has fallen.
And Mega Creeps
Radiant's
looming
bottom
in the
barracks
horizon.
are
Range
Radiant's
Rack's
bottom
gone and the final
has
melee and the
fallen.
Ancient exposed.
Radiant's
Can
bottom
TSM hold 4 versus 5? It's a difficult task, but it's a one that they're going to have to face, as that Ancient is already down to half HP. Ari stunning up here just to see Kit. He's right there, but they're focusing full on. Notice is buying the space and the time. Static Storm, and it goes to the back line, and a beautiful catch from Kirtich as well. And TSM is out.
Radiant's
Game
courier
1.
has been killed.
They claim game number 1.
In a very unexpected fashion as well. This game was like all TSM at the beginning of the game, but the resilience from Virtus